What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Scarlet Edit. I am your host, Nikki Corbett, and this is the first bonus episode of the Summer of George. And I am so excited right now because it's a whole new concept for me. And honestly, let me say something. If you are an audio listener, which I know the majority of you are, nothing has changed, right? It's just a bonus episode and you're still hearing me. But if you are watching on YouTube, you'll notice that it's different in the background because I'm not recording this in my studio. I am just recording it in the little area of my home that I refer to as the lounge. Now, for context, the studio is like 3 feet right there. So it's all in just this little extra space that I have. And I created this cozy area up here. The Summer of George is all about me saying yes, dating again, getting out, trying new things, doing different things in life, just meeting new people, networking, maybe having a summer fling. We shall see. I don't know, but I am open to it all. I mentioned in the kickoff episode that came out last week that these episodes would be bonus episodes from now until the end of September. They will come out on Fridays, and every week it will just be a little recap of how the Summer of George is going and what I've experienced and what I have learned and what my thoughts are on it. So let's just dive in. So as I mentioned in the kickoff, I got back on a dating app after swearing that I would never do that again. Now, I have to say, I went into it with a different mindset because I truly believe that our mindset shapes our experiences. So I went into it just saying like, look, I want to meet people. I want to see what's out there. I want to go out with new men and have conversations. I set a goal to go on 3 meetups. I'm not going to call them dates because here's the thing. Like, this is something that I've been thinking about for the last couple of days. So when we're out in the world and when we see somebody that we find attractive, or if somebody who we find attractive approaches us, it's like we know from the second they walk up, if we have a physical attraction towards them. We also know when we don't. Now, a dating app is different because you see somebody's photos, you connect with them, you start sending messages. Maybe what they've written on their profile, you're like, oh, I really like that, or we have these things in common. So you start this banter, and our minds, even though we don't necessarily mean to, our minds somehow create a version of this person, and then we go and we meet them. More often than not, the version that we have created is not what is actually real. So then it's this recalibration of, do I find this person attractive in real life? My friends who are single and I have had this conversation many times about these like snap judgments that we can make right when we meet somebody where we walk in and it's like, oh my God, immediate no, like I just want to leave. And I struggle with that because I try to say, let's give them a chance. Let's see how the conversation goes. Let's see, I liked texting with him. Let's see if that translates into real life. But then I do remind myself, well, if this man approached me in public and I had never met him before, would I be even giving him a conversation? So it's just something to think about. I don't necessarily know the answer, and I don't know that the answer would be the same every single time, but it is just something that I've been thinking about. So I had set a goal to go out on 3 meetups. How many did I actually go on? Just 1. And I don't necessarily feel like that was all on me. It's so weird with like the matching and the chatting and the expectations that each person has that aren't voiced. I find it very strange when matching with a man and they don't reach out and say, hi, how are you? Or, hey, saw on your profile that you like this, tell me more. Or just even like a random question, like, give me a great song that you put on your playlist recently. I find that very strange because I'm like, if I liked your photo first and then you matched with me, like, why aren't you saying hi? Like, what is that? So I often don't unless I'm like really, really like, whoa, this guy's super, super, super hot and I really want to talk to him. So there were a few matches that, then were unmatched as a result of that. There were a few matches that were unmatched simply because they said something that I found off-putting. For example, one man said, "If you'd like to get frisky, come meet up with me." Sir, you just told me you were at work. That is so gross and such a turnoff. So no, thank you. One man immediately responded to me saying, "Do you wear crop tops all the time? I hope so." Wink. Okay, goodbye. Um, I had a few conversations that I thought were nice and that they potentially were going to lead to an invitation to hang out, and then they unmatched. It's like, you just never know. I mean, I go into it with the assumption that like we're all talking to multiple people at the same time. I mean, you kind of have to. It's a numbers game. And I hate saying that because it makes it feel like sleazy and makes it feel like it's a sales call. But like it really is. Like it's a numbers game. You can't put all of your eggs in one basket for somebody that you've literally never seen in person. You just can't. I did have plans with another gentleman, and actually I shouldn't even call him a gentleman because a gentleman wouldn't ghost, and that's what he ended up doing. So his access was revoked. I blocked him. So here's actually the whole story of what happened. We had matched. We had some good in-app banter, traded phone numbers. We actually talked on the phone one night for an entire hour. Then the next couple of days, he was texting me and he invited me to get together on Saturday night. I said, sure, sounds great. That was Wednesday. Didn't hear from him Thursday, didn't really think much about it. Again, like I've never met this man. I don't need to be hearing from him every single day. Friday came and I was like, oh, I'm just going to text him because we had been talking a lot about the NBA finals. I had thought that the final game 5 was on Friday night. Turns out it was on Saturday night. So I made a comment like, oh my gosh, didn't realize that the game's tomorrow night. Never heard from him. So I was just like, okay, all good. So the next day when I didn't hear from him at all, I blocked him because I'm like, you no longer get access to me. Like you don't get to text me in a few days and say something stupid. Like, no. I did have lunch with one man and it was fine. I was not physically attracted to him. And there were a few instances, I wrote about this in an Instagram post, where it was an exercise in me exercising my own boundaries, that there were 3 instances where I think I failed a little bit and I could have done better. But the great thing is that I learned, and I mean, I got to give this guy some grace. I think he was more newly single than he kind of let on to be. And I can so empathize with that because I understand how that feels. Like the first time you're getting back out there and you're like excited and nervous and it's fun and it feels so good to be talking to somebody new. But it's also like you have to have some level of self-awareness where you're like, I'm dominating this conversation. I keep cutting this person off and, kind of rein it in a bit. So, just wasn't for me, but that's okay. So all that to say, what else went on this first week of Summer of George? I did sign up for an outside yoga class. I did not go because it was a million degrees. I have got so much work done this week, which is only benefiting the more things I can say yes to over the next few weeks. And there is so much teed up on the horizon because I'm getting ready to leave Arizona because it is hotter than the sun and head to Southern California. So there will be more content coming there on my Instagram at thescarlet.edit. And if you are interested in following along on YouTube, you totally should, because these videos will probably be filmed somewhere different each week because I'm going to be like roaming around or, maybe in a different part of my friend's house that I'm staying with. So anyway, as always, thank you for being here. If you are living your own version of the Summer of George, I hope that it is going amazing. Remember, it is always good to try something new, always good to say yes, because you can always change your mind and go home if you don't enjoy what you're doing, but at minimum, you tried. That's it, and we will see you next week. Bye.